I'm Father Mike Duckwitz, the director of the Addiction Recovery Ministry, and every Monday we gather to talk about issues regarding addiction and recovery. I have been looking at the slogans that you see in 12-step meeting rooms. Today's slogan I want to look at is this is not right. Okay, here it is. So I want to look at you are not alone. Today I want to reflect on that slogan. This slogan is like a laser cutting through the darkness of addiction. One of the most painful experiences for the addict, the one dealing with some form of substance abuse disorder, is loneliness. Not just loneliness, profound loneliness. The road of the addict is a black hole of isolation and loneliness. That feeling of being different, of not fitting in, can be crippling. It's like living in a void of nothingness. Just listen to drunks having a conversation. If you listen and you're sober, what you hear is not a conversation. What you hear are a series of monologues. There's no sharing. There's no connection. There's no intimacy. There really is only noise. Noise that fills the void. Addiction destroys the capacity and the possibility for intimacy. Because intimacy demands an honest, authentic sharing of self. Intimacy demands letting go of our fear, trusting and loving the other, trusting and loving ourselves. And since the addict alcoholic really doesn't know who they really are, it's impossible for them to experience authentic sharing. They have spent most of their life putting on masks, putting on personas, avoiding who they are. So how can they share who they are if they don't know who they are? The addict alcoholic is terrified. He's terrified that someone might discover who they are. Often, since they don't know who they don't want to discover who they are themselves. So they have to protect themselves from themselves. They have to protect themselves from discovering who they are. So what happens is denial becomes their truth. That's why I believe 12-step recovery is so important. When you come to meetings, you discover a world you didn't even know existed. You find in those rooms people from every possible walk of life, every age. You find in there a fellowship of diversity. You find in there a community built on mutual respect. Often, it's the first time you really encounter family. Because everyone in that room cares about each other. Everyone in that room knows they are broken. But they're not afraid to embrace their own brokenness. They even have the courage to share their brokenness. They have now the courage to encounter their truth and to share their truth. And in those rooms, built on inclusivity and respect, built on trust and sharing, you begin to experience intimacy. An intimacy that is free of judgment, that is free of shame, that does not tolerate denial. A world where God dwells and lives in honesty, in truth, and in acceptance. This overwhelming experience of intimacy actualizes for the alcohol the knowledge that you are not alone. Isolation is toxic to anyone suffering from a substance abuse disorder. Fellowship is the antidote that relieves the isolation and loneliness. Let us conclude by together saying the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thank you. God bless. See you next week.